Hey everyone, I'm a little bit early this week. I have a really busy week coming up, so I thought I would get to you all earlier. So we have quite a bit to go through this week. So let's look at the module. So it's module 9, the basics of academic writing, and we have a bunch of readings on writing this week. And I cannot begin to emphasize to you the importance of actually reading those carefully. I know a big part of like being in sociology is kind of getting to know and enjoying the content and learning new content, but I cannot. But it's insanely important to master the craft of writing, and this is a skill that you're going to need forever, regardless of whichever field you end up in. You're going to need to be able to like write different types of writing, every time you apply for a job, every time you write a paper, every time you're writing reports or memos or whatever. So read the readings really carefully. And I also want to particularly emphasize chapter 5 and the thesis statements because repeatedly, this is every time I've TA'd or taught a class, like this is a key weakness amongst all students. So read that carefully and understand what is the thesis, try to master it, and those are like constantly easy points lost in every paper I've ever graded. So again, focus on today's readings or this week's readings, and they will perpetually help you. So we only have a journal submission this week and no discussion. But with that being said, we have the beginning of 2 assignments. So let's look into them. So this is the paper proposal. And the paper proposal is going to be submitted on 3 parts. So next week you're submitting a kind of very brief, not necessarily outline, just a very brief write-up of what you think your paper is going to be. And then the next part is going to be the outline, so that's going to be a little bit more fleshed out, and then your final paper is going to be due. So we're going to be working on that together throughout the remainder of the semester, which is going to be nice. So this paper is about public policy in the US, and you're going to be expected to pick a policy that you're most interested in, and then try to use concepts and research and theories from the class. So here's a list of public policy issues in the US. Here's a video that's just going to go over social policy. And here are some examples of the paper. But if we go into the grading rubric, it's going to give you a bit more detail as to what I want. So again, as I said, there's going to be the paper proposal, the outline, and the research paper, and here's their due date. So what I want you to do is, this is the paper proposal, and it's only 20 points. So this is only a few paragraphs. Try to reach a page, minimal, and then it goes into detail as to what I'm expecting. Shoot me an email if you have any questions, or post on the class Q&A, so we can go over any questions you all might have. So that's assignment 9. The social movement group discussion, that's also the beginning of another set of assignment. That's like a prolonged assignment. And this one's actually only due until August 18th, but we need to start now. So what I want you to do is that so basically this assignment, you all are going to be divided into groups based on which one of these social movements you're interested in. And then you're going to respond to a bunch of questions collectively. So you're going to assign yourselves to each one of these groups, and then you're going to have a discussion forum that only you and your group will have access to. And in that discussion forum, you're going to be expected to respond to these sets of questions. So first thing you have to do is assign yourself to one of these social movements. And the second thing you do is that once everyone has been assigned, that you like reach out to each other and decide how, as a group, you're going to respond to these questions. So there's a bunch of ways you can do it. One of them could be that everyone is responsible for a question. One of it, like another one, could be that one person it's shared responses for each. But what I need to see is that everyone has contributed a response, and everyone has contributed to all of those questions, so that no one person is doing all of the work. So every member of the group has to submit a post to the discussion section. So all of these will require some outside, so 1 to 5 will require some outside research, and then 6 will require some reflection. So maybe that's maybe number 6 is where everyone weighs in on it, and then everyone gets one other question that you're responsible for. So however you do it, everyone needs to put in work. Everyone will be graded separately. And the way you assign yourself to the group is that you go to people, group, and then just move yourself over. So that is all for, and here's a guideline that you can go over. So that's all for the week coming up. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with the material this week. Bye.